So we have our 2017 Lexus LX. This is the 570, so that means you have the 5.7 V8. These are like the bee's knees luxury all-wheel drive vehicles. Pretty much whatever you need to do in your day-to-day, this is for it, regardless of how wild it might get. You see some crazy stuff like overseas, like of them going through the sand dunes and stuff. It's pretty wild. Overall, this drives really good, plenty of get up and go. One thing I'll say, the steering does feel a little heavy on these because they are full-time four-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive. So it's not the same as an all-wheel drive car, because it's usually using front-wheel drive until you need the all-wheel drive, right? These are just, you're using it. You can't really shut that off. It does have settings to like help turn, has crawl modes, all that kind of stuff. Overall, exterior is really good. Trim and everything checks out good. I did find like this little blemish here, a little chip. There's a couple little chips in like the chrome here, but nothing I would say to concern myself. Wheels and tires are in really good shape. I did say the edge wear here, it's pretty much going to happen no matter what. It's just being a four-wheel drive all the time, when you turn like parking lots and stuff, it's just going to happen. Lights and everything check out really good. All the radar stuff works. The rear wiper is torn. That's kind of lame. But everything else checks out really good on this. I didn't find too much beyond that chip and just some nitpicking stuff, I guess. Glass is all in really good shape. I know with the safety glass is kind of a bigger concern for people. I've been seeing a lot of chips in these lately, and this one actually looks really good. Lights aren't oxidized or cracked or anything. Looks good. And then I did find just some minor cracks. Let this focus. Some minor cracks in this mirror on the passenger. We'll stop there. Engine bay here. Lots of plastics covering lots of stuff here. Basically down underneath you can kind of see hoses and stuff. The camera might not be able to get it with the glare, but overall really clean. Now back here, you can tell like usually if there's a leak you'll see like residue on the firewall and stuff like that, as far as your towers and everything. Try to get in there real good. And then I like to go both sides. Heater core hoses and everything are good shape. They really do a lot of engineering on these, so there's a lot going on. You kind of see down in there, nice and clean. Oil was really clean. The brake fluid's super clean. These will have the electric assist on the fans, water pump and everything. Power steering fluid looks pretty good. Air filter, they went through recon, so all that stuff's been replaced. And then they got all the silicone stuff on here. I'm gonna do a quick startup. This does have an aftermarket alarm also put in here, just to let you know. But I'm gonna do a quick startup real fast, and I'll come right back to the camera, so just bear with me. So it starts right up. You can see the clutch fan and everything goes nice and quiet. There is a little bit of a pulley squeak here and there. I don't know if you heard it on the initial startup. It kind of comes and goes. Definitely something I would talk to them about. Let me see. I'm going to turn the air on and stuff, see if that brings it back. Alright, so I turned on all the air and everything. Hasn't really come back. It was more prominent when the vehicle was colder. As it's warmed up, the squeak's gone away, so you might just have a bearing on a tensioner or something that's going. But definitely something to bring up. You can hear it mainly on startup, but overall, really clean engine bay. No chalky signs, no white residue or any coolant like that down in the valleys here. Alright, so this here is going to be the undercarriage. I use this mirror here to kind of help me look under the vehicle and just kind of check everything over. Here I just like to go from front to back. This lets me see if anything's been hanging down, sagging, dragging on the vehicle. I look for shiny, wet areas. That usually shows me like if there's been a leak or anything. Really good undercarriage pretty from the front. You see a little bit of surface rust on these front horns here, just from like the rock chips and stuff off the ground. but nothing excessive. We're gonna go to each corner area and just talk about some stuff. Down here we have the first body mount on the frame here, so you can see where the body and the frame meet, and then you can see your cat on this side, front drive line, and then some of the skid plates, control arms and everything, and your body all look really good. Going down the frame, you can see the bars that kind of keep all the tidbits that are along the frame safe. And then we do have stock exhaust and a good eye on the rear diff. We'll get back there in a second. So on the rear portion here, body mount, and then close up on the muffler, and you do have your ladder arm. All looks really good. And then rear diff also nice and dry. Driveline looks really good. Doesn't look like it's whacked or rubbed on anything. And all this heat shields and everything are also in really good shape. So this here is the rear section. You can see your stock muffler. This does have a matching fifth tire, so when they did the new tires, they did get a matching fifth, which is awesome. There is a hitch underneath this cover, and then there's your trailer brake connection. And then you can look along here, that's your frame all the way back. It looks really good. And we're gonna go to that corner. All right, so passenger rear body mount and suspension all check out really good. Good plate for your gas tank, all looks really good. Frame looks amazing on this. And then real quick, we'll go to the front corner passenger. So this is your lift point here. Oh, I got a piece of paper coming out of the car. Oh, there it goes. And so lift point here, you can see your cat, transpan and everything. All looks really good. All right, so interior, we only do like 5-minute clips per section, so this might feel a little rushed, but there's a lot on this car. Steering wheel controls all work as intended, paddle shifters, radar, cruise, information for this screen, and then voice commands and phone controls, volume, all that. Cruise is down here. This is how you do your adaptive and stuff. The HUD and auto lights, washer for the headlights, all that. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It's so bright, but you can see, I don't know, I can see the zero there. Map tracked really well. This does have the whole bird's eye deal when you're in reverse, and then off-road it'll do sides and stuff. This does have the air ride, so you can go up and down, works really good. For low, so you're always in high for, not all-wheel drive. You have different settings for how the vehicle rides, like softability and then settings for your four-wheel drive. Now one thing, one thing I did not test is this, where it like uses the front and like locks the rear to like turn the vehicle. I'm not gonna do that. It said if I put it into crawl mode it would try, but I just didn't find any areas that would be acceptable for that. Heated, air conditioned, and heated steering wheel, all that works, and then your joystick works really good as well. And then climate controls. You can turn off your emergency crash, your lift gate, and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna hop into the back and just kind of touch base on the door cards and stuff. So door cards are in really, really good shape on this. Sunroof operates as intended. Headliner's in pretty good shape. I did find these little tears right here. It's kind of weird. Now in the rear, you do have these controls. There's a remote here that controls it left and right on that switch, does everything you ask, and then they have climate controls here, and then this does fold away for seating. The middle does fold down separately, so you kind of have like a captain effect too. But this area is in really good shape. Door cards. I only found one pair of headset, so I don't know if it's hidden somewhere else. We're gonna hop sides. So passenger rear door card. These both have the privacy mesh on them. Screen here. Seats are in really good shape, so it checks out really good here. And then door card here, also in really good shape. Power seats on this side as well. And then glove box does have the owner's manual and everything in there. And then an extra shelf. Seats are in really good shape. The driver one had a little wear next to the buckle, but no like tears or anything, just like some scuffs. Overall, really good interior. So this is like a tailgate, lift gate type situation. The top half is power, and then the rear half comes down. This does have these carpets and everything for, it has like the all-weather mats and everything, but it still has the carpets with them. These are your roof crossbars. Should have moved these. Both sides work. I already tested them, but I just want to show you. The seat here, it's power operated. You just hold it, it'll go all the way down, boom boom, and then you hold it. You have to hold the button and it'll do its thing. So that all checks out. This does have the tools still in here, and then something I saw that was super awesome, they labeled these for the towing and the cover and everything. Super cool. So put these back real quick and then we'll shut this bad boy. There we go. So tailgate, and then there's a button you push, and then the power lift gate comes down. It's kind of slower, but with this situation I don't think you want to rush it. All good, operates as intended. All right, we're gonna go through and we scan the computer on these. Sun's kind of fighting me a little bit, so hopefully the camera's picking this up well. We had a few faults here. Engine, we had a startability fault, and then on these it's just basically lost communications. I took a picture and then I also wrote them all down in text form, so you have both of those. Typically I see something like this when it either had a weak battery and needed a jump, or the battery was replaced, something along those lines. I will say, while I was doing my scan, the battery did drop to 11.8 and then it went down to like 11.7, so I did start it back up. I try not to get it batteries down below, oh, focus here, focus my finger, boom. I try not to let batteries get down too low, just because I don't want to be stranded out here. But while it's running, it is charging at the correct amount. 13.5 to 14 is pretty average. That being said, this car has a lot of stuff going on, so just leaving the key on for 5-10 minutes could most likely kill this car, even with a good battery. I just want to keep that said. And then from here we're going to move on to our monitors. So this is going to be our monitors. Anytime I do this, I always go since the last time anyone cleared codes instead of like when I drove it. There's always that option. Green checks all the way across. Gray circles we don't worry about. It's just monitors that are no longer used. They're redundancies, or they're just not supported with the system. A lot of times it's a lot of redundancies nowadays. A lot of intertwined systems talking to each other constantly in newer cars. All checks out good. We'll keep going from here. I always do point out here, VIN on the vehicle and VIN on our computer match. It's just something I always look at. We'll keep going. So I had this in high and I have it lowering while we do this conclusion, just to make sure it works. Lights and everything, I just like to make it look alive, more sporty at the end. So with this, really clean, really well taken care of. Someone knew what it was and valued it at that. The maintenance and everything checks out really good. I don't see any like obscene wear and tear. You see it's all lowered out now. It's crazy. I didn't see anything that would really concern me. A few things that I do want to touch base on. We got a little bit of a pulley sound, like a squeal in the front belt. And there's a little tear in the headrest. And then we had some startability codes. I did notice the battery kind of drains down a little quick. I know these newer cars have so much going on, it doesn't take long to kill them. But just something to bring up. Rear wiper blade's torn. Just little bits, little things that count. Overall, really loaded. Everything works as far as buttons that I could push. I did go over to this gravel section over here and made sure all the locks and everything work. I did not do any of the crawl turnaround stuff. That sounds not my budget. I didn't want to mess that up. It said it would enable it if I put it in the crawl mode, and then basically what it does is it locks it and then lets the front turn without the rear moving to help you get out of spots. Beyond that, I don't really have any concerns. Engine bay is really clean. This did go through recon, so they got a bunch of maintenance already taken care of. Filters, all that stuff look really good. This car checks out really nice. Like I said, just a few things. The pulley squeal has a startability fault, and then rear wiper blade's torn, and there's a little bit of rips in the headliner. So, oh, you kind of hear it. It comes and goes. I'm not sure what's going on with that thing. It's probably just a pulley with like a little bit of wear on the bearing or something. So we're gonna stop here. This is a clean inspection.